It's not working. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, the ceremony will commence in 5 minutes, starting with the procession of graduates, followed by the academic procession. In respect to this occasion, I ask that you please take your seats and remind you to turn off all electronic devices. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, would you please rise if you are able for the procession of graduates and remain standing for the academic procession. Thank you.
Swell. Good day, and welcome to the February Convocation of Kwantlen Polytechnic University. We are gathered here today on the traditional and unceded territories of the Kwantlen, Katsi, Coquitlam, Kakite, Musqueam, Swasan, and Semiahmoo peoples who have lived here for millennia. And we honor the Kwantlen people especially for graciously bestowing their name on this institution. A fitting expression of gratitude to the fortitude, wisdom, and grace of the First Peoples is to grow our understanding of their story, to listen, reflect, and learn, to center this land's truest story before our own, so that our journey serves as a pathway to true reconciliation, trust, and progress. Please stay standing if you are able for the singing of O Canada in a version with an extra verse sung and played by KPU students.
O Canada, where pines and maples grow, great prairies spread and noble rivers flow. How dear to us thy broad domain from east to western sea. Thou land of hope for all who toil, thou true north strong and free. O Canada, glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. For thee.
Thank you. Please be seated. I declare today's convocation in session to celebrate our February 2024 graduates, and my name is Alan Davis, and I have the honor of serving as KPU's President and Vice Chancellor. Convocation means to call together by summons, and in universities and colleges, convocations are called for the conferring of credentials and for the recognition of outstanding achievement. I'd like to introduce the members of the platform party. Please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. But we'll start by acknowledging the amazing members of the KPU faculty who are here with us today. We also have KPU's Chancellor, Kim Baird, Quantiltanut, from the Board of Governors, Mohammed Afzal Malik and Ishant Goyal, from the KPU Alumni Association, Nancy Armitage and Jasmine Bassi, our Provost and Vice President Academic, Dr. Diane Purvey, the Vice President External Affairs and CEO of the KPU Foundation, Randall Height, the Vice President for Students, Zena Mitchell, Associate Vice President Academic, David Burns, the Associate Vice President Enrollment Services and Registrar, and the Marshal of Convocation, Nadia Henwood, the Associate Vice President for Planning and Accountability, Dr. Laurie McElroy, the Associate Vice President, Research and Innovation, Dr. Amit Shukla, the Vice Chair of Senate, Catherine Swichtenberg, University Librarian, Todd Mundell, the Dean of the Faculty of Academic and Career Preparation, Amy Bagalka, the Dean of the Faculty of Health, Sharman Lee, and the Dean of the Wilson School of Design, Andra Goundry, the Associate Dean of the Faculty of Academic and Career Preparation, Dr. Mitra Gorjipour, and the Associate Dean of the Faculty of Health, Dr. Sarah Beasley. Also with us is our General Counsel, Jennifer Dupre, and our Honorary Doctor of Laws recipient, Francois Paulette, and our Distinguished Teaching Award recipient, Paola Gavinanes. Please join me in welcoming the platform party. We also have members of Francois Paulette's family and Paola's family here today. Welcome, and thank you for being here to enjoy this celebration. I would like to welcome Chancellor Kim Baird Quintaltanut to offer her greetings to the convocation.
Asiem siemna siea I sialqua, yes na squaloan quanas iskakakatwelep. My respected friends, relatives, and elders, I am happy to be amongst all of you. President Davis, board members, Senate members, graduates, honored guests, family members, faculty, staff, and alumni, welcome to Kwantlen Polytechnic University's Convocation Ceremony for 2024. Today, we celebrate the successes of our soon-to-be graduates. I'd like to extend a big congratulations to each and every one of you. You should be very proud of your achievement. Thank you and your families and your communities that have supported you. I know we remain in challenging times as we shift to a new normal after the global pandemic that's been here for 4 years, and that has likely challenged many of your studies. This is why I don't want to take for granted that we are able to be here in person today. And although we have a new normal due to the pandemic, COVID made me realize another thing we shouldn't take for granted as well, and that is the continued importance of community. Indeed, my own career path was influenced by my community, and I am an alumna of this very institution because it is community-based. I spent much of my career serving my community, Tsawwassen First Nation. So in your long careers ahead of you, please don't take your communities for granted, and do think about how you can serve your community. You all have great capacity to make the world a better place, and I hope you find a career or volunteer opportunity to do so. Today, you join a new community of alumni, many of whom have found successful career and community service paths. Our grads are philanthropists, critical thinkers, entrepreneurs, and global citizens in many fields. This university's alumni are representing KPU locally, nationally, and globally in an incredibly impactful way. So graduates, take pride in what you do and where you've come from, and most importantly, support the communities that support you. On behalf of your university, I wish you continued success. And once again, congratulations. Haichka, Haisapka.
Thank you, Chancellor. Ruby Randawa is going to address the convocation on behalf of the graduates. And Ruby graduates today with a Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree. Ruby.
Okay. Good morning, graduates, faculty, family, and friends. It is a huge honor and privilege to be given this opportunity to speak here today. When I first learned I'd be speaking here today, I must admit I had a moment of panic. I remember thinking, what do you even say in a convocation speech? So I did what any reasonable modern-day student would do when they need answers to their problems: ask ChatGPT. Just kidding. What I actually did was go into full-on student mode, binge-watching every valedictorian speech I could find. And let me tell you, those speakers are on another level. They're funny, they're charming, and they've got some serious inspiration to dish out. So am I capable of living up to that? I guess we're about to find out. In all seriousness, among all the nerves and panic that set in, I realized something. The journey of getting here has been tough and even uncomfortable at times. Yet in hindsight, it's those uncomfortable moments that have truly shaped us. They pushed us to grow, to adapt, and to thrive. So why not embrace that discomfort one last time for the sake of growth? Now, as I stand here representing our graduating class, I must acknowledge that each of us have had a different journey to get here. I can't pretend to know the struggles and hurdles you've all faced along the way, but I'm willing to bet it took a whole lot of determination and resilience to get here. Speaking from my own experience, my time at KPU has taught me the power of resilience and the importance of showing myself some grace. I've learned not to be too hard on myself, especially when it comes to meeting society's expectations. It's okay to take your time and to figure things out along the way. Trust me, I'm the prime example of that. To give you a bit of context about my journey, it all started when I was just a little kid. When asked what I wanted to be when I grew up, I'd always say a surgeon. When asked by teachers what kind of surgeon, I would say brain surgeon. Why the brain? I have no clue, but eventually I passed on that dream once I realized I actually had to touch a brain to do the job. So that was a no-go. Fast forward to being 17, freshly graduated from high school, I applied to a kinesiology program with the hopes of becoming a physiotherapist. I remember thinking, hey, it's still kind of like being a doctor, but minus all the brain stuff. But I also failed at that once I discovered I had zero passion for fitness and exercise. So there I was bouncing around from one program to another, feeling like everyone else had it all figured it out while I was wasting my time. But you know what kept me going? It was resilience. It was that stubborn refusal to never throw in the towel, no matter how many curveballs life threw my way, or rather, however many tuition payments I had to make. Finally, after much trial and error, I found my path here. I started my studies at KPU at 21. I landed a spot in the Bachelor of Science in Nursing at 24, and now at the grand old age of 27, I stand before you as a proud graduate. A broke graduate, but still proud. So, sure, my back feels like it belongs to someone twice my age, and I swear I've aged a decade in the process. But the excitement of reaching this milestone is unmatched, given all the growth and potential I've seen in myself along the way. Allow me to demonstrate that with resilience, you can overcome any obstacle, and it's okay to take your time with it too. Resilience isn't about dodging stress or hardship, it's about facing them head on with determination. Setbacks will happen, but it's how you bounce back from them that truly counts. In one form or another, resilience has been shown by every graduate here. Whether it was navigating the chaos of online classes during a global pandemic or pulling all-nighters before exams. Either way, we've all proven our resilience by standing here today. I'd also like to take the time to acknowledge, as a second-generation Punjabi Canadian, the privilege I have to speak on the behalf of many immigrant families who made unimaginable sacrifices to give their children here a better life. Many of our parents left behind their homes, their dreams, their very identities to come to this country and to settle for a life of uncertainty. They worked tirelessly, often in jobs that didn't fully recognize their worth, and they faced discrimination along the way that tested them. Yet they persisted, showing us the true meaning of resilience. So to my mom and dad, and to all the parents and families here today, thank you. Mom and Dad, they're here tonight, or this morning. I appreciate the sacrifices you've both made, your unconditional love and support, and for being the reason I'm standing here today. And of course, thank you to all of those who have been my biggest supporters outside of that, such as my fiance Raju, who's here, my big brother Baji, sister-in-law Sherry, my family and friends all watching at home. You all know who you are, Praveen, Mom, and of course, all the friends that I've made here along the way. Shout out Harleen, Alif, Manish, Hassan, Sierra. I appreciate you all so, so much. Now, as we embark on this next chapter of our lives, let us carry with us the lessons we've learned, the friendships we've made, and the self-determination that has brought us to this moment. Congratulations, graduates.
Oh, thank you, Ruby. That was great. And I think it'll go on YouTube or somewhere as one of the great speeches. The honorary doctorate degree is the highest form of recognition granted by Kwantlen Polytechnic University to recognize persons who are distinguished by their outstanding and significant contributions and accomplishments. The degrees are awarded honoris causa for the sake of honor, in recognition of his outstanding community and public service. The Honorary Doctor of Laws is presented to Francois Paulette. Francois is an esteemed advocate for Indigenous treaty rights and environmental stewardship. A survivor of the residential school system, he has dedicated his life to the advancement of Indigenous communities and tireless advocacy for climate change initiatives, blending traditional knowledge with contemporary environmental activism. Francois rose to become the youngest chief of the Smith's Landing First Nation at the age of 21. And his advocacy work expands far beyond his local community. In 1973, Francois and 16 other chiefs challenged the Canadian government to recognize the Dene's title over 1 million square kilometers of land in the Northwest Territories and to prevent the construction of the Mackenzie Valley Pipeline. In 2023, 50 years later, the Dene National Assembly marked the anniversary of the case ruling, which is now studied in post-secondary institutions across Canada. He has contributed significantly to the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, reinforcing its importance and advocating for its implementation. Francois has participated in numerous international conferences and symposia integrating traditional Indigenous perspectives with environmental advocacy. As a former member of the Assembly of First Nations Elder Council and an appointee to the Advisory Committee on Climate Action, he has made significant contributions to Indigenous perspectives on environmental policy. He played a crucial role in developing the Elders' Statement on Climate Action and the Environment, influencing the Pan-Canadian Framework on Clean Growth and Climate Change. Driven by a commitment to promoting Indigenous culture, he was a founding member of the Dene Cultural Institute. Francois is an adjunct professor at the University of Alberta School of Public Health, where he supports students in applying traditional knowledge methods in their research, and he does so as an elder advisor and traditional knowledge keeper. Throughout his life, Francois has been a pillar of strength and inspiration for his people, consistently advocating for Indigenous rights, preserving the Dene Selena language, and safeguarding his culture and traditions. In 2019, he was named an Officer of the Order of Canada for his contributions to Indigenous treaty rights and for his advocacy of circumpolar health research. Members of the Convocation, friends, guests, I present to you Dr. Francois Paulette.
Salotine. In my language, I'm saying all my relations. I will make my remarks short, but I'm going to start by just mentioning, in order of history, the term domination. To go out to subdue the earth and control everything, every living thing on Mother Earth. The Dene, the tribe that I come from, since time of our beginning, we have always been here. Our history goes back as far as back as we could remember. We have a terminology that describes who we are. It's Denech Anya. Denech Anya, translated, interpreted, means the path we walk. The past, the present, and the future. In this Denech Anya, we have spiritual laws that give us balance to live in harmony with Mother Earth. And we have a sacred relationship with all living things and humans. But since time, the doctrine of discovery violated the sacred circle of our Denech Anya. The colonial impact infringed on every aspect of our way of life since we could remember, since the arrival of the Europeans. This way of life has been infringed on, and it's sometimes very sad, because I'm a residential school survivor, to live in a system that I never knew about. That was very painful time of my life. When I was a young man growing up, in the land that I belong to and the people I belong to, I began to discover through English language that what was put forth in the Treaty 8 in the North and Treaty 11, this is the text to Treaty number 8. It's a racist text. It goes against every aspect of our spiritual laws, our way of life. And I began to discover that in this treaty, that our people, when we made entered treaty in 1899 that we had never talked about surrender, cede, extinguish our rights to land. And that was the beginning, the turning point that we need to make Canada aware, and we were going to take them to court. Along with 15 other chiefs, 16 chiefs, I am the only living survivor of those chiefs that filed the caveat in 1972. 1973, the courts, Justice Morrow ruled in our favor that we had lands and interests to over 450,000 square miles of land. I just wanted to also say that the other famous court case at the time was the Calder case in 1973. These two court cases changed the way Canada looked at First Nations rights. So in the North, that changed the way we did business. I just want to, there's a famous other leader that his name is George Erasmus. We would travel to Ottawa to negotiate outstanding rights. But I'll tell you this story. George and I were staying in this big hotel, and we were leaving, and in this elevator were these three kind of nighthawks, people that lived at night. They were pale, they had shaggy hair. Anyway, we checked out, the bellboy took our luggage, and here was a stretch limousine out there. I asked George, did you order for this big taxi? No. Anyway, the chauffeur took our luggage, putting it in the back, and there's 4 young men ran out, and they were screaming at us. And I said, this is our taxi. They said, okay, fine. But what turned me off is when they cussed at me. So, and I start cussing at them. And we were changing talks. Now, here I'm in this big front of this hotel. I'm about to take all 4 of them on. And I'm doing the Ali shuffle in front of this hotel. They wouldn't come out of the cab. George is holding me back. And the chauffeur come up to me and he says, who are you? Oh, I'm the chief from the north. And my friend here is the national chief. And I said, and who are those assholes? And that chauffeur kind of, oh, that is the rock group KISS. That was a very funny moment. We laughed all the way to the airport. But I just want to say that, you know that our country is in despair because of the change, the impacts of the weather, the impacts of fossil fuel in our land. We breathe it. It's in the air. It's more noticeable up north. It's noticeable for people that live on the land. because they see the impacts of what's going on. And I see that every day. It's a big battle for us, and I suppose for all First Nations. I was this moment in Montreal not too long ago. My wife, Leslie, that's a Mohawk from the Sixth Nation, they had what you call, when high school students get together, reunion. Right. So I went to the reunion with her, and she's mingling with the crowd. And there's this young man looking at me. He is sizing me up, walking around, looking at my shoes. Then he goes over to Leslie. He says, "Is that the Paulette?" From the Paulette case? Leslie says, "Yeah, that is Francois Paulette." "Wow," he said, "I thought this man would be fossilized by now." I am honored to be standing before you. I'm humbly here. I'm thankful to your president and all your staff. You young people, do not have fear. Do not have fear. We walk in hope, with hope. And prayer is a big part of our struggle and the path that we walk. So I just want to thank you all for listening to my little story here today, Masicho. I also want to say, this eagle feather, the eagle in our culture is the messenger. He brings the information, the message to the Creator. So we hold this eagle feather at the highest standard. And I want to just pass this blessing on to the president of KPU. You look after this feather, it's for you.
I'm going to keep this feather close by, and I'm going to bring it to every convocation to remind me. Thank you so much, Francois, for those wonderful words. So we are now going to certify the graduates. Would you please rise? Not you, just the graduates, don't worry. You can just relax, relax. Thank you. Unless you missed your own convocation, then you can. Chancellor, it is with great pleasure that I hereby certify that the graduates here present and those in absentia have met the requirements for the credentials to present at this day as prescribed by the Senate of Kwantlen Polytechnic University, and I ask that you confer upon them their credentials.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the statutes of the Province of British Columbia, and upon the recommendation of the Senate and the Registrar of Kwantlen Polytechnic University, I confer upon you the credential to which you are entitled, and invest with you all the rights and privileges, powers, and responsibilities pertaining to the credential. Congratulations to you all. You may be seated.
We are now going to present each of our graduates to the convocation. Dr. David Burns will present each of the graduates, assisted by the Marshal of Convocation, Nadia Henwood. And offering congratulations to each graduate as they cross the stage will be myself, our Chancellor, the Dean of the faculty or school being presented, and each graduate will be presented with an invitation on behalf of the KPU Alumni Association. Graduates, please return to your seats after crossing the stage as directed by the marshals. We'll try to keep this orderly, and please stay until everyone has been presented. But vocal encouragement of your favorite graduate is very welcome. After all, this is a celebration. Dr. Burns, when you're ready.
We will now recognize the graduates of the Faculty of Academic and Career Preparation. The citation in Employment and Community Studies, Kevin John Britannia. John Aaron Fernando. Wesley Kenneth Gain. Olivia Newman. Joey Jiang. Christian Thomas Rodriguez. Bishop Murray. I present to you the graduates of the Faculty of Academic and Career Preparation. We will now recognize the graduates of the Faculty of Health. The Bachelor of Psychiatric Nursing, with distinction, Lovepreet Kaur Chahal. With distinction, Timothy Jordan Delage. With distinction, Navneet Kaur Gill. With distinction, Harpinder Kaur Kainth. With distinction, Lucilia Francis Kask. With distinction, Melissa Linfoot. With distinction, Charlene May Pasquale. With distinction, Zara Ranuma. With distinction, Pavleen Rai. With distinction, Barneet Kaur Sidhu. Sherwin Villar Tabalanza. With distinction, Tanachia Tumpet. The Bachelor of Science in Nursing, with distinction, Alif Isa Ahmed. With distinction, Sumit Kaur Amrala. Gurpreet Kaur Burke. With distinction, Avneet Boparai. With distinction, Navdeep Brar. With distinction, Rosette Marise Gia Dorado. With distinction, Tricia Guia Dorado. With distinction, Esanala Gulabayar. With distinction, Harleen Kaur Jasar. With distinction, Jasmeet Kaur Kalan. With distinction, Brittany Lee Kalange. With distinction, Michael Joseph Mittel. With distinction, Crystal Natura. With distinction, Simranpreet Singh Parmar. With distinction, Tanya Pinto. With distinction, Harpreet Kaur Purawal. With distinction, Rubinder Kaur Randawa. With distinction, Hannah Salas. With distinction, Brittany Marie Annette Scott. With distinction, Priyanna Anshal Singh. With distinction, Christine Claire Astillero Somerguido. With distinction, Monish Upia. With distinction, Sierra Brittany Van Ness. With distinction, Aponi Wilson. With distinction, Jessica Nicole Adama. With distinction, Raphael Agunad. With distinction, Sebastian Francis Igai Alas. With distinction, Jotsarup Kaur Brar. With distinction, Nicole Louise Kramer. With distinction, Jaskern Dale. With distinction, April Davies. With distinction, Julia Marie Dio. With distinction, Benjamin Hugh Ferguson. With distinction, Justin Gillespie. With distinction, Robin Charlene Harris. With distinction, Ki-Ju Hong. With distinction, Sun Ji Jung. With distinction, Ri-Hee Ju. With distinction, Neelam Cambo. With distinction, Chloe Jessica Lai. With distinction, Michelle Lee. With distinction, Karishma Ram. With distinction, Mira Kaur Shoker. With distinction, Prableen Kaur Sidhu. With distinction, Huan Wen Tsang. With distinction, Lauren Van Rassel. With distinction, Emily Ray Van Wiltenberg. The Certificate in Graduate Nurse Internationally Educated Reentry with distinction, Louise Elaine Abreu. With distinction, Gadir Al-Hmeid. With distinction, Stanley Marbella Andis. With distinction, Maida Concepcion Anog. With distinction, Kathleen Ann Matthias Araneta. With distinction, Andrian Marie Ball. Bernie Bagano. With distinction, Ebert and Natalio Baligod. With distinction, Chantel Canlas Baria. With distinction, Ma Teresa Basilio. Alita Butwang. With distinction, Christine Keith Caraballos Morfe. With distinction, Marites Carasos. With distinction, Anne Rochelle Castillo. With distinction, Michelle Joy Sepe. With distinction, Dania Davis. With distinction, Vanessa Pitogo de Leon. Shova Dimal. With distinction, J. Domenico. With distinction, Maurice Caldeo Dunton. With distinction, Kathleen Fernandez. With distinction, Joanna Flores. With distinction, Jaskaranjit Kaur Gill. With distinction, Princess Fabelin Go. With distinction, Benita Gurung. With distinction, Marie Faye Halaman. With distinction, Harmeet Kaur. With distinction, Jenilyn Hamandre Itabag. With distinction, Jetsi Karukamalil Joy. With distinction, Muin Kasim. With distinction, Navjot Kaur. With distinction, Inderpreet Kaur. With distinction, Rajinder Kaur. With distinction, Simarjeet Kaur. With distinction, Delacletus Kolancheri. Olivia Lakonsai. With distinction, Emmy Lou Lopez Ognisan. Zelsi Anya Mabong Lubong. With distinction, Christopher Cortez Liu. With distinction, Mylene Magsino. With distinction, Carl Benz Gabriel Meliza. With distinction, Kathleen Verna Miranda. With distinction, Crystal Venice Mitchell. With distinction, Courtney Murphy. With distinction, Anitha Mutukumar. With distinction, Leira Aya Nanoma. With distinction, Kara Zinya Kaunin Ongoko. With distinction, Rain Marie Tenyo Orimako. With distinction, Vile Queen Canyares Pausanos. With distinction, Sean Yvonne Paris. With distinction, Supriya Fuyel. With distinction, Naira Jean Pondavita. With distinction, Kay Ramos. With distinction, Marie Chloe Manzano Rivera. With distinction, Gileria Ruby. With distinction, Jemima Garcia Sadama. With distinction, Jasmine Kaur Saini. Jasmine Shamir. With distinction, Namita Sharma. With distinction, Yaya Shi. With distinction, Jenny Pearl Yu Silla. With distinction, Bina Silwal. With distinction, Mark Christopher Tindog. With distinction, Holly Velasco. With distinction, Cheryl Benitez Villon. With distinction, Joy Christine Yak. With distinction, Liya Zhao. The Certificate in Healthcare Assistant, Jerome Valdez Bennett. With distinction, Amber Calbury. With distinction, Christine Bernadette Lim Kolyok. With distinction, Jasmine Marianelle Ortiz. With distinction, Janesse Rosebeth Pontino. With distinction, Caitlin Ann Rackstraw. With distinction, Palvi Tacker. Sarah Rachel Vandermeer. I present to you the graduates of the Faculty of Health. We will now recognize the graduates of the Wilson School of Design. The Bachelor of Design, Product Design, Ralph Elijah Dean Ferrer Vasquez. The Diploma in Fashion Marketing, Ava Alishba Wilson. I present to you the graduates of the Wilson School of Design. This concludes the presentation of our graduates.
Oh, there's quite a lot of you, isn't there? A wonderful ceremony. Thank you very much for being here. Graduates, I'm going to give you this opportunity to acknowledge your family and friends who've supported you during your studies. I want you to stand up, turn around, and make some noise. Well, that was a good rehearsal. Perhaps you want to try that again. Come on. That's more like it. Good. All right, sit down. Dr. Purvey is going to present the Distinguished Teaching Award.
Teaching is a core element of KPU, and the university recognizes and celebrates outstanding examples of teaching. The KPU Award for Distinguished Teaching recognizes remarkable teaching as demonstrated by activities such as the development of new courses and curricula, contributions to the scholarship of teaching, development of effective teaching methods, enrichment of the learning environment at KPU, and contributions that improve the teaching of colleagues. The Distinguished Teaching Award for part-time faculty is awarded to Paula Gavilanes. For the past 22 years, Paula has been an interior design practitioner and instructor. Since 2009, she has taught at KPU's Wilson School of Design as faculty and is now the program chair of the Interior Design Program. Paula is being recognized with this award for her commitment to the field of education, as well as for her expertise in interior design. She has become an instrumental advocate for the use of e-portfolios at the Wilson School of Design, which is part of her integrated learning advocacy. Through a collaboration with the teaching and learning team at KPU, she represents KPU at the Association of American Colleges and Universities Institute on e-portfolios. Paula's design philosophy stems from what she calls the powerful response humans have to design in nature. Her teaching philosophy grows from the deep respect she has for students, where she encourages self-expression because she believes that's what design is about for both the client and the designer. This respect for her students is evident with her students as they describe her as being seen, heard, and supported. Similarly, her colleagues also note her supportive and collaborative nature. Her compassion means facilitating inside and outside the classroom through mentorship and coaching on career and life. Congratulations, Paula.
Are you waiting for me to introduce you? Our Vice President Student Zena Mitchell is going to bring greetings on behalf of the Alumni Association.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Good morning. What an exciting day, everyone. My name is Zena Mitchell. It's my distinct honor to extend to our graduates my sincere congratulations and to officially welcome you into the KPU alumni community. I do that not only in my role as Vice President Students, but more importantly, as a proud KPU graduate myself. I remember very vividly when, like all of you, I was wearing my KPU cap and gown, feeling so inspired having completed my studies. So, of course, it's very special for me today to be the one to celebrate you, our newest graduates, and on behalf of your Alumni Association to say, welcome. Welcome to an alumni community of over 71,000 graduates. The word alumni is derived from the Latin word alere, which means to nourish or foster. As you leave your studies behind and become alumni of this university, I hope you will remember KPU as a place where your mind was nourished, where you built the foundation on which you will now navigate your career path, a place where thought truly does meet action. You may be thinking that your journey at KPU has come to an end, but I'm here to tell you as new alumni, this is just the beginning. You've received an outstanding education from this university, and we look forward to staying connected and hearing about your future achievements, of which there will be many, I'm sure. Being part of this alumni family is your lifelong connection to KPU. The KPU Alumni Association is dedicated to helping you maintain that connection and providing you with meaningful benefits and services, as well as mentorship and networking opportunities. For example, you may decide you'd like to launch an alumni chapter, which is a fantastic way to stay connected with your KPU network after graduation. Being alumni means that you are all KPU ambassadors in the workplace, in the community, around the world. So, as you embark on the next part of your journey, know that you're not alone. KPU alumni are all over the world, doing incredible things and making it a better place, just as we know you will. Welcome to this esteemed community. Carry the KPU banner proudly. We wish you every success and look forward to staying in touch. Congratulations.
Thank you, Zena. I'd like to close now with a few words specifically about this university and its importance to our community within the context of the crucial role that universities and colleges of all shapes and sizes play in our society. KPU is a university for our times, a polytechnic university, open and accessible and relevant to both local needs and the global issues of our society. A university that is driven by teaching and learning, enriched by our research and scholarship, and engaged with our communities. Our mission is to create opportunities for all learners to achieve success and to prepare them for rewarding work, for engaged citizenship, and for a lifetime of continued learning. And certainly all the evidence that we have from employers and alumni is that we achieve these goals in many ways. And beyond that, KPU is part of a global community of thousands of universities and colleges which are founded upon and dedicated to the great ideals of civilization: liberty, truth, sustainability, beauty, and justice. And they respect and preserve culture and language and ideas and inspire their learners and others to do the same and to become active agents in creating a better world, whatever their field of study. In order to do this, universities and colleges have for centuries cherished their autonomy and the academic freedom of their faculty and learners and their right and responsibility to always question the status quo and to explore new knowledge while tackling complex issues, and to do so respectfully, ethically, and thoughtfully. At KPU, though still quite young as an institution, we continue this tradition, and not just by dressing up twice a year like extras in a Harry Potter movie. There are serious reasons for the pomp and ceremony here at Convocation, in addition to being, we hope, an appropriate celebration of your success. It reminds us all of the hard-won freedoms that universities and colleges continue to protect and to foster on behalf of society. So keep up the tradition. Whatever your line of work, try always to be open, skeptical, questioning, courageous, respectful, and kind. All of us here have had the honor and the privilege of helping each of you along the way in reaching your educational goals. Thank you for choosing us. Friends and family, thank you for all you have done in supporting our graduates and for being here today. And Rubinder, thank you so much for reminding us of the resilience, not only of you, yourself, and your colleagues, but also of your family and those who went before. And maybe I can ask your family to stand up. They're here, Mum and Dad and the family. They can take a bow on behalf of all the families who are here. Francois, I don't know what to say. I'm so happy that you're now part of the KPU family. And you're always welcome here. And I hope that we stay friends and colleagues for many, many years. I'm kind of overwhelmed by the words that Francois shared with us, and I don't know why I'm surprised. I knew he was a great man, but he's just shared so much of that with us today. And Paula, although I messed up your name earlier, I'm sorry. You represent all that's great about KPU. You really do. And I'm very proud to have you as a colleague. One of the things that Paula's husband and daughter are here. Thank you so much for being here. But when I heard that Paula won the Distinguished Teaching Award for part-time faculty, I think, what on earth? She seems to do 2 jobs as it is when she's at KPU. So how she can be part-time and still do all that she does is quite remarkable. And I want to thank you for all the contributions you continue to make to KPU. So go forth, and if you haven't got one already, take the advice that my father gave to me when I graduated. Those 3 little words that mean so much. Get a job. This concludes our convocation. I'd like to thank all those who've been involved in the planning and executions of this week's ceremony. And I'd like to invite you to join us at the reception across the way in Surrey, Maine for hugs and photos. The Chancellor will now dismiss the convocation. Please stand if you are able and remain standing until the platform party and the graduates have exited the convocation. Thank you.
In honor of our respect for the Kwantlen First Nation, I offer this blessing in harmony with and with deep respect for the many faiths and philosophic traditions represented here today. As you continue on life's journey, may you walk tirelessly. May the Creator walk with you. May His peace be in your minds. May her love be in your hearts. All my relations, I declare this convocation dismissed.